Tragedy struck in Okpella, Etsako East local government area of Edo State, as an apprentice, Udeji Bright, fatally stabbed his boss, Johnson, Sunday over a dispute involving a 17-year-old girl. The altercation reportedly stemmed from a love triangle after Sunday allegedly began dating his apprentice's girlfriend despite repeated warnings from Bright. The incident occurred on Friday, March 21st, escalating into a violent confrontation that led to the fatal stabbing. Eyewitnesses recounted that Bright and the teenage girl had been in a relationship for years before Sunday also expressed interest in her. The girl allegedly decided to date both men, creating tension between the boss and his apprentice. Attempt by community elders to resolve the matter failed as Bright reportedly felt betrayed and vowed to retaliate. On the fateful evening, the disagreement escalated into a fight during which Bright stabbed his boss in the back. Sunday was rushed to a hospital but succumbed to his injuries. Residents overpowered Bright as he attempted to flee and handed him over to the Okpella Divisional Police Headquarters. The incident has sparked unrest in Ugiriga community where angry youth set the suspect's family house ablaze. The teenage girl and her parents have fled the town to avoid repercussions. A local resident, John, condemned the situation, describing it as disgraceful. The deceased was married with children but was fighting over a teenage girl. Now he is dead. The apprentice is in police custody and the girl has disappeared, he lamented. Meanwhile, an elder in the community, Mama Evelyn, criticized young women's pursuit of wealth at the expense of stable relationships. Greed led to this disaster. Young ladies should learn to build their lives with their partners instead of chasing after wealth, she stated. Police have launched an investigation into the incident while the body of the deceased has now been deposited at the morgue. This is a rather sad and complicated report. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's your opinion that it is complicated.
When there's a triangle, that means there's complication.
Otherwise, the matter is very simple.
Okay.
You know, I actually sent a proposal to an organization. What is it all about? Is that we should go into the issue of teenage pregnancy in the Niger Delta because it is too common. The only business we have in the Niger Delta, so to say today, young boys, young girls, teenage boys, teenage girls going into a relationship. They have nothing else doing. But like the commentator there said, it's disgraceful. Why would you have your wife and your children and you are fighting over a little girl? Some people, I don't know how their brain works. You fight over a little girl that somebody will see with you and you will want to hide your face. You are fighting over that. Not only that, the person who is in relationship with this girl is your apprentice. Warning you, your apprentice warning you. So you can see the level of the value that we have is very, very poor. And I keep saying it. People should pursue what leads to progress. People should pursue what leads to honor. But no. All you just want to do, I have my girlfriend, you have your girlfriend. Anybody that doesn't have a girlfriend today, it looks as if he's living in the archaic world, living in the past. So, girlfriend today is a thing of pride. Yes, you must have your girlfriend. All these girls that are opening body here and there is what people have been proud about, of having. So, it's unfortunate that this kind of a thing is happening, fighting over a girl, small girl dating two men. And the two men are fighting because of this small girl. It's very sad. It's very sad. People don't know how to live with discretion, and it's a problem.
Now, I have lots of things going through my mind. At first, you talked about value system. Now, that you said we've lost our value system. That brings you thoughts. You know, what is the job of parenting as regards this current tide? When you talked about values, and according to the report, we did see that the girl and her family now are no longer in the town. They fled.
Yes.
Right. What do you think the parents must have done wrong or should have done right as regards, especially with the fact that this girl is an underage person?
Yes. Children nowadays, they are very stubborn. I tell you the truth. children nowadays, they are very, very stubborn. Why some of us sometimes we blame a parent for not doing enough. Children of nowadays, many of them are bigger than their parents. Their parent will tell them something, the one that is in their mind is the one they want to do, the one they want to work with. So that's the nature of children of nowadays. Unlike our days when your mother will talk to you, you can't open your mouth now. Your father will talk to you, you can't open your mouth. But today, when you talk to your child, if you talk one, the child will tell you, reply you with 2 or 3 words.
But then, you know that children are born tabula rasa. They grow up with the values. It's a plain sheet, right? It's what you write into it that stays. Do you think that these values are imbibed in these children from the start and they fall on the wayside, maybe due to peer pressure? Or do you think they are not taught about these values or morals at all?
Do we not have values we are teaching today? In the first place, we do not have values. Because when you talk about values, it's not just within the home alone. It's a societal thing. You understand?
Right.
It's something that flows from up down and from down up. It can start from the home and it can equally start from the government. That is the way I want my society to be. A disciplined government will come into place and we say this is the kind of society I want to govern.
Okay.
It started from up. You will see some people who became king and they get a town crier to move around the community. That has from today onward, so kind of character, so kind of attitude, behaviors, I don't want to see it in this kingdom. And anybody found one thing for this kind of attitude will pay a fine or be punished to so amount of money or for so. In such a thing, you will still fear in society. But in our own case, we do not have such thing. In the home, punishing children today is like many of the children have become kings over their parents. The parents cannot talk to them. And again, when they talk to them, when they go out, the one their friends tell them is the one they value more than the one their mother will tell them.
Why do you think that is?
Yes, because we now have a society where the influence of the society is more than the influence of the home. Are you with me? If you now, if you have a brother who tells you to use your car to give to him, as a man of God, you won't do it. But once a man of God outside, a church owner, will tell you, oh, this is your car, if you don't give it to me, you're going to have accident, you're going to have this, you go and surrender that car to that person. Because you tend to believe that man more than your brother or more than your father, more than your uncle. How would I give my car to my uncle? But when you give your car to your pastor, it gives you joy to give him your car. So the society we find ourselves today, the pressure from outside is more than the pressure from inside. So we no longer respect those inside. We respect those outside more than those inside, especially when they don't have money. So it's part of the issue we are carrying today as a society.
Right. I went through a report that was hinged on peer pressure. Now, one of the, the thought patterns of what that report contained is that parents give children instructions to say, don't behave in this manner. Don't go outside. But I myself, when I was growing up, my dad had these rules. Your friends are your friends in school. No friend should come to my house. Right. We have these things. Every parent have these rules they state at home. But that report did contain that parents have failed to tell their children why they shouldn't do those actions. As regards, don't, sit with bad friends as regards it corrupting your good manners, right? Maybe parents now say, don't go out with bad friends, don't talk to bad people, I don't want you to do that, and they don't give a why. Because according to the report, the parts that, handled why children now succumb to peer pressure, this year parents tell them things and give them a reason for the action. I'll give you an example. So I stumbled upon an incident in my work where a girl had come over to a big pastor in a church and mentioned that, sir, I want to talk to you about something. And the pastor said, okay, what is the problem? She said, I don't want to get into any problem, but I just want to talk to you about it. I'll just quickly round up what the story, this part of the story is about. And now, when she met the pastor, she told him, oh, I've been having menstrual cramps. I told my mother about it. When I told my mother about it, she was, oh, that's a normal thing. I mean, go and take medicine and all that. And the mother, in her mind, she didn't feel like the mother gave that problem aggregate attention, right? So she took that same report or that same pain point she was having to a friend and said, I don't know, I'm having this cramps, I'm feeling is so bad. And her friend said, it's easy now, it's something that they can fix. And she said, oh, wow, did you fix yours? The friend said, oh, I fixed mine. How did you fix? It's simple. I mean, when you just start having sex now, the thing is going to go away. Now, that girl worked with what the friend has given her better than what the mom has given her, because the friend seemingly has given her a why. If you do this, this will happen. Right? They already planned for the whole meeting. It was a fiasco at that, you know, the story was a mess because the boy that does the flowering of the girls in that place had already done to over 18 people when at the time the story was coming up. Right. Now, do you think that parents ought to give their children good values starting from stating, do this, because if you don't do this, this ABCD thing is going to happen? I did remember that just now you talked about communal living. Now, in this century, you notice that we have lost the sense of community we used to have. Back then, somebody would say, if my father saw me standing at this corner, he can tell somebody, and somebody sees me maybe 8 o'clock in the night standing talking to a boy. My father expects me to actually pull me by the ear back home. Right now, those values are not tenable because parents be like, are you the one feeding the child? Are you the one training the child? Why will you abuse the child? Where do you think this has brought us to this point? As regards, on one hand, do you think that parents correct without giving a why? That is why peer pressure has prevailed. On the other hand, do you think that losing our communism due to, what's it called? If I say so myself, growth and development has brought us to this point now?
Well, you said a lot of things. And if you want to look at it holistically,
right,
you will discover that some of the things we face, some are spiritual. Why do I say so? Some of the men, some of the women, in their own days, they punish their mothers so much. They put pepper in their mother's eyes so much, some of the mothers of today. And maybe their mother say, well, as you are doing to me, your daughter will do to you. You know, we can give it a wave of hand. But some are real in real life situation. But I don't want to dwell much on that. Right. Now, are you talking about the report you gave is not 100% correct.
Okay.
When you say there are people you tell the why of something, and they still go ahead to do that thing you have told them about the why. That if you do this, this is going to be the repercussion. They still go ahead to want to see whether that repercussion you have told them will come to play. There are people like that, naturally. And there are mothers too. The Greek word says, nemo dat quod non habet. You can't give what you don't have. A mother who doesn't have value, what will she give to children? A mother who doesn't have character, what will she give to children? So when you say a failure...
So when you say a mother, what about, doesn't the father have value to give? Because, I mean, it makes two people to make a family.
That is what I'm saying. You are speaking from the perspective of the cradle, the early days of the child.
Okay.
That's the perspective you are speaking from. And we said the early days of the child is always with the mother. The basic foundation of what a child knows in life ordinarily is supposed to come from the mother. And that is why the Bible also lay it on the mother, that the wayward child is a curse to the mother. It didn't say to the father. Why? Because at that elementary level of learning A, B, C, D, the child is always with the mother. And the kind of A the child should learn, the kind of B the child should learn, should ordinarily come from the mother. And when the mother discovers that this child is learning A in a manner that A should not be learned, the mother corrects immediately. But when the mother is learning, the child is learning a kind of A that should not be learned at all, and the mother is clapping, oh, my child is doing well, at the end of the day, the child is going to be a torment to both of them. So that's what we are saying. Children nowadays, there are some you talk to, you show them the why, but the one that is in their mind is still what they want to do. They value what their friend will tell them more than what the mother will tell them. Some of them will just tell, oh, mommy, that is old now. We are in a new age of pressing a phone, you know. So it is. It's not something you can just lay on one angle. But like I've told you, our government is not doing enough. If you see some story that is going on now, what is happening, prisoner in prison, he already coming out from prison to go and steal, to go and rob, and when they begin to trace where this is, they transfer money, so million, where they trace the money, they trace it to prisoner, people in prison, coming out to rob, the money transfer, you trace to an account of a warder, what do you call it, a warden, what do you call it, so in the prison. And when such matter comes up, before you know it, oh, please, cover us up, cover us.
But what do you think the government should do as regards this sort of stories?
Government, see, any society where critical matter are turned upside down, that society cannot be good. And that is what we are suffering in Nigeria. Everybody is living in his own way. We do not have a level that with which you can gauge the individuals, that this is the level of moral in our society. This is the acceptable level of morals. We do not have it now. There are things you do in small African country and society will censor you. But when you censor somebody here, say, now you be God, now you go judge them, that is the way it is here. You don't tell somebody this thing you have done is bad. Say, now you be my father. And people say, leave her now. You go kill yourself because of another person. But in those days, everybody will come and then the child will know that what he has done is actually bad. This is not what is required in this particular society. But where people begin, some will support her, so we know you give her flex. You know, to do more. So a society that is divided along individual morals. And this moral we are talking about, these are immoral attitudes. So how can you say such a society? Every mother and father, they have their own katakata in the house every day. Mother and children, they have their own katakata in the house every day. Nobody is honoring the other. Nobody is respected. Nobody is regarding one another. Everybody is king as far as we are concerned today in Nigeria. So nothing we can really bring out of this society until we have a government who want to run a country.
Now, moving away from the government, what are your thoughts as regards religious bodies? And everybody in Nigeria is religions. You know, they are religious. Where everybody is either going, you're either a Muslim, you're a Christian, you're a traditional worshipper. We are spread across several sects. Nigeria is a highly religious country. Why do you think we still have, you know, such level of morality challenges?
I have said it here many times. The popular Christianity you have in Nigeria is not the one Jesus died for. The Christianity you have in Nigeria, where many become billionaires, is not the Christianity Jesus died for. Christianity did not start in Nigeria. So anybody deceiving you, oh, God call me, and from his own church become a Jew, he's deceiving himself. He's going nowhere. The Bible is clear on issues. And the kind of Muslim we have here in Nigeria is not the one that we have in Saudi Arabia that is building society. It's not the one we have in Dubai that is building society. The one here that is corrupt, that is stealing public money. The Quran made it clear, as I've stated the other time, that the pilgrimage is a duty men owe Allah. Are you with me? Right. But for those who can afford the journey, Allah did not contemplate a pilgrimage that you will use public fund to finance. So when you say you are a Muslim and you don't follow the dictates of your religion, you are not a good religionist now. You are just fake. So the religious people we have here, these are people looking for Naira Kobo. They are not serving God. It's not about burning hand on the ground every day. It's not about shouting Jesus. No, Jesus said, you call me. If you love me, keep my commandment. So anybody who doesn't keep the commandment of Christ, he's deceiving himself. You can call yourself a Christian, you can call yourself a Reverend Father, you can call yourself Geo. It's your business. It doesn't matter to God. God will do what he will do. Jesus made it clear. Not all who call me Lord, all will enter. But those who do the will of the Father. Is it the will of God that somebody should come and form a church? Then the money collected by the church You use it to go and buy a private jet. You use it to go and build a school that church member cannot attend. And you call yourself a man of God in Nigeria. People are doing that. People don't even understand what the scripture is talking about. You call yourself a man of God? No, now. So it is very clear that the Christianity, the popular Christianity, this is what people are dancing here and there, is not the one Jesus built. Jesus, with all the amazing miracles he performed, the apostles, with all the amazing miracles they performed, the society still rejects their gospel. Why? Because the gospel is spiritual. The gospel is not carnal. The gospel is not about naira and kobo. The gospel is not about prosperity. Whether you go to church, you not go to church, you do your business well, you will prosper. There was riches on earth before Christ came. So anybody telling you, you go to church, people who are saying, men of God who are saying, you stay in one corner and said, if you don't pay tithe, you will not prosper. They are deceivers. Are they men of God? They are deceivers, deceiving people to collect money from them to live big lives, bloated lives.
But don't you think religion stands a chance as regards, helping us to build values again?
That's what I'm telling you. If the Christianity we have in Nigeria is the one built by Christ, you cannot see things like this now. The church will not be full now. Christianity condemns immorality. Christianity condemns stealing. Christianity condemns abuse. Christianity orders children to obey their parents. Christianity requires responsibility, responsible individuals, men of honor and pride. Not the man who is running after another cover and say you are a man of God. Meaning what? Using public money to begin to live a boisterous life. From who now? If you think Paul doesn't know how to make money, or Peter not like money. He died poor. Their riches were spiritual riches, not carnal riches.
How do we regain the agency of this value?
This one now, Christianity is not preaching what it's supposed to preach. And I tell you, if you use the Bible to evaluate, 99% of Nigerian pastors are fake. If you use the scripture, because the office of the pastor is an office limited by qualification. It's not something you jump into. So these are people looking for naira kobo, looking for bloated lives. They are not serving God. I'm saying it with all sense of responsibility. I am talking from the word of God. Because those who serve God, the Bible made it clear for us to see. So what we are saying here, if the church is as many as they are, if they preach values, we can't have this now. Look at our environment, everywhere dirty, dirty, dirty. And we know very well that dirty is in enmity with God. Anywhere that is dirty, God run away. But look at our environment, a Christian environment. Look at all the streets. Look at all the corner. Anywhere you see one small bush, everywhere go low with dirty. You can't look here, you can't look there. A Christian community that's supposed to be neat and decent. So what are we saying here? Is the reflection of the values that we have. Those in government, they don't pursue what they're supposed to pursue. Those in the churches, they don't do what they're supposed to do. Those in the school, they don't do what they're supposed to do. In the home. So everything is bad as far as Nigeria is concerned. So
the reform has to come from each and every one of these bodies you've mentioned.
Nigeria, the reform is going to be difficult. One, Nigeria, they don't like to die. Two, Nigerians, they like pleasure so much. Nigerians don't know how to make sacrifice. They want to go to America and have their children. That's just what Nigeria wants. Already prepared abode. But let us work at that abode. The sacrifice that is required. I am suffering today. Why, if I am a reasonable man, why should I want my children to grow up to still go to pass through the process and pass it through if we are a normal human being as a country? But look at it the way we are going. So we are surrendering everything. What do we go do now? What do we go do now? So our children will come and still continue with this kind of process. It's bad.
It's bad.